That could be the beauty of the winter wonderland and the winter night. A theme entitled Winter Light. The composer is on the other end of the telephone line with us. His name is Adam Mackowicz, and he's currently appearing this weekend in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 26th and Nicollet at the Artist Quarter. And it's welcome once again to Adam Mackowicz. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, all right. Thanks for being here, inviting me.
Oh, it's good to have you in between sets here. Adam, that composition, Winter Light, what inspired it?
Well, you see, usually first I composed, and then I'm thinking what title should it be. Usually it helps, my wife helps me and some other people, because I called my compositions by numbers. So it's easier for me to remember which number. If you ask me a particular composition by name, I couldn't think immediately what song it might be.
That strips all the romance from it, Adam.
But usually when I'm in a particular mood, I compose, and then when I'm playing these compositions and people listening and things, it reminds me this or that, then I try to put a proper title, for a particular song.
Well, this session was recorded in Stockholm at the Sonnet Studios with Paula Danielsson, the bassist, and
Jan Christiansen on the drums.
Yes, and maybe it was the land of the midnight sun that inspired you. Scandinavia, the land of the midnight sun.
Well, all my life, I have so many every day happened to me, so it depends of my mood. It's hard to say now what, but then when I'm playing, it just happened, it just happened. Because as you know, compositions is rather short, but what is in the middle, this is the most important thing when we improvise. So I was in particular mood. It was wintertime when I recorded in Stockholm, and I was in particular mood that day, and it came out. I couldn't help it.
Well, for those of us who don't have glowing fireplaces and all kinds of atmosphere to go, the Winter Light was really quite appropriate for this night and last night, too.
It's okay. I think, do you feel some cold feeling around it?
Just a little, but also a lot of warmth.
Because usually words inspire people to think particular way. When they hear a title, when I am announcing my compositions by numbers, people don't know what to think. I don't suggest them anything, till I start playing. And when you say by words, each composition has some titles, and they already people think because the title gave them to think particular way when they are listening these compositions or other compositions,
And sometimes it steals from the performance if they know.
Right.
Adam Mackowicz, there have been pianists who've touched you as you've listened to American jazz from afar. And I'd like to play one performance by one pianist for you now and just get your off-the-cuff, spontaneous comments on what you hear.
All right.
I'll play you're listening there over in Minneapolis. We're in St. Paul, and there are a group of listeners in Bayfield, Wisconsin, who are in front of a fireplace. They're miles away from us. And there are a few others scattered around, and a couple of Holstein cows, too. At any rate, here's the artist and the composition. Adam Mackowicz, I'm sure you've defined who that is. What's your immediate reaction to hearing that?
Well, first of all, it's of course my favorite jazz piano player. It is Art Tatum, and he will be on first place on my list. And first reaction when I'm hearing that kind of sound he got from a piano, I think the piano doesn't matter if a particular piano he plays or other pianos. I mean, general pianos are wonderful instruments. They're most inspiring instruments I ever heard. So this is first reaction, and that was exactly when I heard for the first time great master Art Tatum, and particular piece now I just heard was how he got such wonderful sound from a piano. I'm sure that he used it was wonderful piano as an instrument, Steinway or something like that, or Basendorfer, great instrument. But how he got that sound, how he controlled everything. A lot of people criticized him that his runs or arpeggios are too much and too often, and he overplayed or like that. I could say only what a pity that these people couldn't hear beauty of these arpeggios or runs what he did. And my God, I always thanks that such great artist was alive, and I never had a luck to hear him a live performance, but good that they invented something like records, so we could listen, and this music survived probably next 100 or 200 or 1,000 years.
Adam Mackowicz, where were you when you first heard Art Tatum? Where were you living?
I was in my country, Poland. I played. I was classically trained, so that time I played strictly classical music, and that time, particularly when I started to listen jazz was in our country by government recognized as very bad or even evil music, and we couldn't play publicly. We could only listen in private places at the homes, and by radio. That time even not many people had any tape recordings because they didn't exist that time, mid-50s. So I used to listen the jazz hour music USA from Washington, D.C., which Willis Conover every night talked to us, and he always announced very clearly in English who is playing what kind of music. Very little words, but a lot of music. So that was my education, where I've heard Art Tatum and other great jazz pianists. As a matter of fact, Art Tatum is responsible for my life now that I'm playing jazz. Otherwise, I maybe I wouldn't play jazz. I don't know. But when I heard the first time, I knew immediately that this is the kind of my music I would like to play. Immediately, from first notes, he touched just the piano. I just heard first few bars, and I knew exactly what I will be doing with my life.
Here is another pianist that touched you. Adam Mackowicz, we're bouncing right along, and that pianist, Errol Garner, certainly has something that is really a special signature.
That's right. Errol Garner was, the matter of fact, the first pianist who had tried to imitate. With, I don't know what kind of effect I got from imitating him, but it was the easiest way to imitate Errol Garner than Art Tatum. Art Tatum was, to me, that time, a very sophisticated jazz pianist. I didn't know exactly how he was doing this and other things. But when I heard Errol Garner, who was rhythmically such strong artist, who it's just impossible to go and don't notice anything what's going on around when he plays. And when he was playing, I just stopped, and you can only listen and enjoy this sound and swing. And first time I started to learn, and I started to feel what swing means in jazz music, how important it is swing, playing with swing, and that's what I learned from him.
Adam Mackowicz, thank you for taking time on your intermission to just put the a very important finger and observation on the influences like Art Tatum and Errol Garner. And I know you're due back on stand tonight for another set, and also Sunday night at the Artist Quarter.
Right.
Keep us warm, and send our greetings to Edith Keegan.
Thank you very much. I will.
And we'll see you tomorrow night at the Artist Quarter, as well as tonight.
Okay. I'll be happy to see you.